Welcome to Universe Eternal Omniscient Mind Church, February 15, 2025. Thoughts are systemic. During anyone's lifetime on Earth, as it always has been, wherever politics, religion, justice, war, and money ambitions influentially control the inherent freedoms that belong to everyone. Humans are designed by the eternal omniscient mind, with integral freedoms, which is unique to our mammalian species, humans of its mind. This means that each of us is born with a brain, cerebral circuits, a type of memory routing, memory storing and retrieving when recalled and restored, unique to each individual's perceptions of the observed articulations. Each of us is also born with a potentially developing mentality when unimpaired, which is the mind of the eternal mind's design. Logically, such an integral computer would not be designed for a different planet. So planet Earth seems to be the most compatible environment to its livable extremes as our evolving mammalian species. Humans of a mind learn how to adapt to the environmental conditions, to live elsewhere when it is too cold or too hot for survival, or to invent solutions to cope with such extremes. The difference between humans and other mammalian species who also devise environmental solutions is our individual imagination's innate ability to conceptually formulate anticipatory, generalized design science realities respecting thoughts which are systemic of systems. Knowing what the minimum structural system is, therefore, must be important for survival as our consciously coordinated thought and language. Cosmic logically, the minimum structural system must be of universe and not exclusively of planet Earth. In principle, the minimum structural system of universe cannot be designed by Yom to thwart our humanity's coexistence. Neither would the truths that produce the commonwealth of human life support on Earth be derived from some contrived minimum structural system that does not in principle eternally conserve energy. Awareness of the conservation of energy coincides with a thermodynamic law that says energy is neither created nor ever lost in universe and is therefore 100% accountable. At first, and many subsequent glances, such accountability and conservation can seem beyond comprehension until, that is, we start with universe, whereat our individual metaphysical intellect, synergetic mind's conceptual faculty of thought is informed of the first subdivision of universe, the first abstract integrity patterning that in principle is eternally self-regenerating and is conceptualized independent of this system's size. Obviously, everything thus far is relatively unfamiliar. From where in the universe does it derive? The answer is from nature's coordinate system that was discovered in the 20th century by the planet's friendly genius R. Buckminster Fuller. From childhood, he was determined to discover nature's coordinate system. He designed various models, including the geodesic dome, which required exact measuring and mensuration that involved volumes and not just surfaces from point A to point B to point C, which could be the corners of a triangle, and to point D to outline a square when on a relatively flat surface. RBF also realized he had to start with universe, where all the stars and galaxies over billions of years and millions of light-year distances are where energy comes from. So if energy is eternally regenerating and eternally conserved, logically it can be related to the vectors and forces that humans in principle are designed eventually to comprehend, from relative helplessness and ignorance at birth, but equipped with a brain and evolving, developing mentality. The mind of our species by nature is for information gathering, cosmic to local problem solving. It is reasonable to suppose that the freedoms inherent to our species must be integral integrity, correlating with nature's coordinate system. And since we are metaphysical, with a conceptual faculty that conceptualizes the reenacting articulations independent of time size, the minimum structural system zero size, which is pre-frequency, cannot be dismissed as irrelevant to our information gathering, problem solving concerns. So, how do we differentiate relevance from irrelevance in a world that is predominantly of the millennium's O, P, R, J, W, M, B, C, H, M, politics, religion, justice, war, money, belief, complex hierarchical matrix? Firstly, it is a contextual parameter. A context is the circumstance that forms the setting for an event, a statement, an idea. It derived from Latin contextus, from textere, to weave, according to Oxford University Press Dictionary and Thesaurus. A parameter is a measurable or quantifiable characteristic of a system. It can set a limit or boundary that defines the scope or a process. Parameter derives from Greek para, beside, plus metron, for measure. Such as, I can imagine the process of thinking as a thought comes to mind when joining stars as vertexes together. Whether the words are from Roman or Greek origins, our species, humans designed by the eternal mind, are constantly bombarded by one or all of the P, R, J, W, M contextual parameters interrelating factors throughout the evolving universal communication process, TEUCP. None of those contexts are generalized, come to think of it. The factors do not, in fact, emphasize the event as an energy event, but the minimum structural system is constituted of two energy events, a positive 3-vector team and a negative 3-vector team. When combined, these open triangles form one tetrahedron. Again, the minimum structural system's relevance to consciously coordinated thought and action, thought and language, is the essential conceptuality for realizing our inherent freedoms, primarily because this general systems thinking also includes all the motion freedoms: axial rotation, orbital rotation, inside-outing, torque, expansion, contraction, precession. Speaking of inside-outing, it is good to recall from our memory stored information in our uniquely individual cerebral computer that the tetrahedron of metaphysical physical universe is the only system that can turn itself inside out. The locally occurring problems from moment to moment are manifold, having many different forms, but all of them occur in the environment of energy events. The energy events are conceptual systems that the individual conceptual reasoning faculty of thought can conceptualize independent of size. Who needs the PRJWBCHM to further distract and misdirect our humanity's potential omniconsiderate, omnirational cognition and recognition? The answer could seem unanswerable, if not for relevantly information gathering, which our research, writing, pursuits of knowledge and happiness focuses on here at Church Yom, referential to nature's coordinate system. Today's relevant link: Synergetics Table of Contents, Synergetics 240 through 240.37. Synergetics Figure 108.01. Synergetics Figure 511.10. Synergetics Figure 935.23. Until next time, thank you from Christina, Universe Citizen, founder of Church Yom, Universe Eternal, Omniscient Mind.